Over the last 2 weeks in this Thursday session, we have been talking about some question. We have been learning some lessons that we picked up from the impact. And I want to believe that even though some attended, some did not attend, I hope, especially if you did not attend, you have been able to catch some things that you can take and apply in your business. I believe there is power in sharing, there's power in learning. And I hope that we have brought those to you so that next year when you travel there, you are able to even learn more from your own experience. But even though you attended, I want to believe that this was helpful in helping you to recap some of the things that were shared. Because sometimes we learn differently. If something was said to all of us, the way we express it might be different, and it helps you to deepen your learning. And for me, actually, that's one of the reasons why I treasure learning and training, because much as you know certain things, you get to hear them from different people, and the way they express them depends your own learning and understanding. So just keep open to learning, even when things may be usual and familiar. Now, today I want us to reflect on some questions that can help us to. Now, the first three were shared at the convention, at the Impact Summit, and then the others have added a few so that we can get a broader picture of what it is that we are doing, but also how we can do it better. So today we're looking at some questions for personal reflection. Number one, this was a question that was asked, and I asked myself this question. I said, wow, if I was to answer this realistically, where will your business be in 5? Okay. Where will your business be 5 years? This question was asked, I think it was asked to the ladies. Yes, there was Grace Chege. There were about 4 ladies on that panel. There was Grace, there was Janet, there was, I think, Zubeda, quite a number. Anyway, all the panels had ladies. Come to think about it. And for me, that was another takeaway that, man, we need to, in school we used to call it pull up your socks. We used to say we need to really work hard, because come to think about it, and all the panels that were done at the Impact Summit were ladies. So now I have even forgotten which panel this was, but the question was asked, where will your business be in 5 years? So I want you to think about your business and paint a picture. Paint a picture. Talking about this, my wife and I celebrated 10 years last week, and we are right now working on our strategic plan for the next 6 years. So we are calling it Vision 2030. Where do we see ourselves all around, be it in our personal life, in our family life, in our business and professional life, everything. So just if you close your eyes and look at the year 2029, because 5 years, 2029. Okay, let's say 2030, because we are almost ending this year, 2024. When you think about 5 years from now, where do you want to be? Where will your business be? Now, the thing about that question is that when you don't take time to think about where your business will be in the next 5 years, okay, listen very closely. If you don't pay attention to where your business will be in the next 5 years, or where you will be in the next 5 years, okay, 5 years from now, you will be somewhere. You will obviously be somewhere, but you may not be where you wanted to be, because you did not take time to plan it. One thing I've come to discover is that we have to plan and intentionally decide where we want to be, because if we don't, you will still be somewhere, but maybe not the place you had wanted to be, because you did not decide. So you just settle for what you get. You settle for what you get. You could have worked towards a better place, but because you did not plan, you did not know where you want to be. So because of that, nothing changed, because you did not intentionally plan out something. So asking ourselves this question, I believe, will be very critical so that we can know exactly what we need to do in order for us to get there. We normally say that life does not get better by chance. It gets better by choice. And one of the choices we have to make is the choice on where we indeed want to be in the next few years. So just a food for thought for us to think about, where do I want to be? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to see my business in the next 5 years? Very important thought. And when you're thinking about this question, put many things into perspective. Okay? Is it realistic? Because sometimes we build fantasies and we don't end up achieving them because even us, we know that we can't achieve it. You know, there are certain goals that work against us. There are certain goals that work against you. And I know it's good for us to dream big, but then sometimes you overwhelm yourself and you even fail to take action. Why? Because something is way out of reach. You know, even you, when you're working towards it, shit, here I'm just lying to myself. And you really sit down and then you even bring this closer and you say 2025 is here now. Okay, not even almost here. It is here because we are talking about the month after next month. Okay, where do I want to see my business after 5 years? And how does that influence how I am working my business now? Because if we do not take time to really think about this, 5 years from now will come and really we haven't moved to where we want to be. So for me, this was a very critical reflection. I'm not sure the screen is sharing, but let's try this again. Okay. Okay. Just let me know. Okay. I think this should be okay. Okay. Now I think it's. So the first question is about where you want to see your business in the next 5 years. Now, the second question, the question that I was again asked, and I took note of this, and here is the question. What is your biggest challenge and how are you overcoming it? What is your biggest challenge? How are you overcoming it? What I like about this question is not only the first part, but the second part. Okay, what is your biggest challenge? Yes, you could be having a big challenge. Very good. Okay, not very good, but yeah, we appreciate that. But then, how are you overcoming it? Because life is a series of challenges, and all of us have got our own. And by the way, everyone has. Still remember one time attending a certain forum, and on this forum, it was an entrepreneur forum, and the person who had been invited was a top business person here in Uganda. His name is Sudhir Ruparelia. He owns many properties, real estate, insurance, education, many things, many things. Okay. So he was on the panel and he was being asked questions. And one time, then someone asked from the audience, but Mr. Ruparelia, do you also have challenges? Now people laughed because the question seemed like, your man has arrived. For him, what challenges does he have? And then he picked up the microphone and he said, yes, I have challenges. They may not be financial, but I have my own challenge. That was a very insightful answer. And I think Charlie Bolton has also said something in the affirmative to this question. He says, yes, I still have my own challenges as a person. You know, so what I'm simply saying with those two examples is that challenges will not go away. In fact, the day you wake up and you have no challenge, that is your biggest challenge. Your biggest challenge will be that you have no challenge. Why? Because we grow through challenges. We grow, we get better. Challenge is what helps us to grow. Everyone grows because of a challenge they have. So, what is your biggest challenge and how are you overcoming it? Okay? The thing is, you could be complaining about it, you could be talking about your challenge, but then the question is, how are you overcoming it? Because our greatest success comes when we overcome our own challenges. God has put something in everyone's way. I can guarantee you that everyone, even the president's team members, have their own. The directors have theirs. The world team members have theirs. You know, everyone has their own challenges. Even a distributor has their own challenges. But the question is not, your own challenge, but how are you overcoming it? And in most cases, the bigger your challenge, the bigger your success. The bigger your challenge, the bigger your challenge. Then, because at the end of the day, if it is a big challenge, it has a big opportunity. If it is a small challenge, it has a small opportunity. So the bigger the challenge, the bigger your opportunity to grow. So how are you overcoming it? We need to stop complaining about our own challenges and start thinking about how we can overcome them. Everyone has them. The question is, how are we overcoming them? And for me, why this question was critical is because you cannot grow in the business without overcoming your challenges. I think that's why Jesus prayed on the cross. Just before he went to the cross, he said, Father, please take away this cup of suffering away from me. Now, everyone has got their own cup. Their own cup. All of us have to drink a certain cup. How are you overcoming the challenge in the cup that you're drinking from? So think about it. It could be a physical challenge. I mean, I saw a lady at the Impact Summit who was blind. She was there. She couldn't see, but she came for the summit. It could be a personal difficulty that you're dealing with. It could be something in business, that you have to really, really deal with. What is your biggest challenge? It could be that you just don't know how to work and relate with people, like we handled yesterday at Baden Powell. So what is your biggest challenge? It could be that you have certain fears that you just need to face and overcome. What is your biggest challenge and how are you overcoming it? It could be that you are trying to grow the business, but you don't have money. It could be that you're trying to grow the business, but you just don't have the money. I remember when Charlie Bolton started the business, he says he didn't have money. And what did he do about it? He said, I started using other people's money to grow my business. So whenever someone would place an order, he would say, okay, please make the payment, I will deliver. You see, he had to sit down and ask himself, okay, I don't have money, buy the product and stock them. But am I going to let that hold me back? All right, what can I do about it? Now that I don't have money, that's the reason I need to build this business to earn money. Now that I don't have money to build the business, how can I solve the problem when people want products and I don't have money to buy them? So he put his foot down and said wherever he goes, people have to buy the products. In fact, one time he said he went to a certain home. It was in the evening. He had done his demonstrations. He finished, and the people kept looking at him. And 1 hour went by. Can you imagine? And then they said, so what are you left with? He said, you need to take the products. You need to buy. I'm not leaving this house until you make an order. It was that bad. So what is your biggest challenge and how can you overcome it? I'm not saying you pull off that move one of these days and you just say, what, I'm not leaving this house until you buy the products. But at the end of the day, you have to find a way to overcome your challenge. You have to find a way to overcome your challenge because the success is in overcoming, not in the having. Everyone has. How are you overcoming your challenge? Question number 3 was a question about how do you keep your team motivated? How do you keep your team? In our kind of business, which is network marketing, we build team. Okay, you can't do this alone. In fact, the other day, I was having this chat with this new distributor, and she expressed her fear of people, and she said, look, I don't even, my challenge is bringing in people, and I don't even want to bring them in because what if I disappoint them? What if I disappoint them? And then she said, what if I stock these products, build a store, and I just sell them? And I said, yeah, that's also possible, but it would be much easier if we built a team and we worked with them. So it can be challenging to work with people. It can be challenging to work with people. But the question is, when you build that team, how do you keep your team motivated? You know, it's one thing to build a team. It's another thing to keep your team motivated. At the end of the day, our business is based on your productivity as a team. Sometimes I just get challenged. I get challenged when I look at sometimes my printout and I look at someone who is sponsoring quite a number of people, but then on month end, that person appears with maybe like 5 people. And you know what that means is that whether you bring people into the business, you know, when you bring people into the business, it is one thing to bring them in the business, it's another thing to help them to grow in the business. So, because for you to, at the end of the day, you will not be paid for how many people you have sponsored. You'll be paid for what you have done with your people. So you have to find a way to keep your team motivated. And you see, this is where our creativity comes in. This is where you just have to be creative. We have seen stories in West Nile where people do training and they say, you know what, we are going to have a meal together. That's one way of keeping the team motivated. You know, that person has seen that, you know what, if I'm going to keep my people motivated, I think I need to maybe do something about when they come and we have a meal together. That is how that person keeps the team motivated. Would it be that for you, you maybe recognize them at a personal level? I know the company does it. You know, we do it in our training centers. But what about you and your small team? How do you keep your team motivated? These are questions we need to really think about as business owners. These are things we need to think about. So the company does what they can do. We as a team do what we can do. But what about you? What about you and your team of 3 people, of you 5 people, of your 10 people? What are you doing in your capacity as you? How do you keep your team motivated? Remember, it is your responsibility to keep your team motivated, not your upline. And the sooner you do this, the better. So rather than waiting for someone else to come and motivate your team, what about you stand in front of your team and do something? Or you sit down and say, I think this month I am going to do something that can help my team to feel more motivated. What is it that I can do? Think about it. That is your food for thought. Okay. The questions I'm asking, I'm just posing them to us so that we can take some time and think, because we need to take time to think about what we are doing. All right. So that was step number 3. Question number 3, how do you keep your team motivated? Now, question number 4 is, so the first 3 were asked at the Impact Summit. The rest of the questions, I just formulated them to help us to continue learning. So the number 4 is, how do you keep yourself motivated? You as you now, let's talk about yourself. Okay, you. How do you keep yourself motivated? So this is why I want to invite a few responses. How do you keep yourself? Let me hear different people. What are some of the things you personally do? You as you at a personal level. What do you do? Because what happens is our business is like, it's like a car. You know, you fuel it full tank. And then you drive. As you drive, the fuel keeps coming low, the fuel keeps coming down, the fuel keeps coming down. If the gate goes to half, the gate almost goes to E, which some people call enough, but it actually means empty. Okay. So when that tank is empty, we need to refuel it. So this personal motivation I'm talking about is you refueling yourself. You refueling yourself. And I want to believe that the book we did with Zaitun recently also helped us a great deal in that area. So how do you personally keep yourself motivated? You need to pay attention to yourself. And by the way, what works for one person may not really work for another. We can learn from what others do. How do you keep yourself motivated? Because it's very important. It's important for you to think about that, because if you yourself, you're not motivated, oh my God, you will be toxic to your team. In fact, you'll be toxic to other distributors. So we need to find a way to address you yourself. How do you continue to keep yourself motivated? Let me just read a few responses and then we proceed. Oh, I see beautiful responses. to some of the questions that we had asked earlier. Rosemary says, 5 years from now, I should be a world team member. My biggest challenge is identifying people who have passion in doing the business and developing my team members. Thank you very much, Rosemary. I've taken note of that. I'm overcoming the challenge by attending training to improve my knowledge and skills. I'm also intensifying the number of people I talk to on a daily basis. Let me see. Gertrude says, I keep myself motivated by coming for training. Okay, that's a very good one. I always like to say, even if the worst came to the worst, just drag yourself and sit in the training. Just sit there and just, it has happened to me several times. There was a time, oh my God, I was, I think, at one of my lowest points. But you sit in the training, and after those 60 minutes, you just feel like you have just you have just taken a refreshment, something to just re-energize you, refresh you, and help you to feel better. Please, whatever you do, don't keep away from training. In fact, be part of every training. As much as you can, be there. So training motivates us. Okay. I read and listen to my best David Bundi. I read and listen to my best motivational speaker like Jim Rohn, Vusi every morning. Thank you very much, David. Esther says, I set a reward for myself if I achieve a set goal. This is beautiful. So I reward myself. I give myself a wow. How many of us reward ourselves when we do things? And Esther, I like that comment there. Recently, I had this reflection with a certain friend of mine, and he was talking about this from the perspective of us as men. And he said that, you are a man, you are a father, you are a husband, you always want to give your best to everyone. You shop for them, you do your best, you take them out, you do everything to make people around you happy if you're the leader in your home. But how often do you do that for yourself? And then he said, you know what, I think one of these days we just need to take ourselves out. Like, just take yourself out. So I remember that when Esther said, I set a reward for myself if I achieve a set goal. Yes, don't wait for someone to take you out. Go and buy yourself a glass of juice, sip it properly and tell yourself, well done, and congratulations to myself. Okay? Mike MRK says, every month I reward myself by buying something new, either a product or a cloth. Gertrude again says, by achieving my target goal. So you reward yourself by achieving your target goal. iPhone says, someone using the iPhone says, I keep myself motivated by attending these morning meetings and soon beginning to attend trainings at Baden. Wow, thank you so much. Great ways we can motivate ourselves. Annette Namkaza says, I attend training and I go to Impact Summit. Joseph Amot says, my one-on-one things I want to achieve in my. Again, Gertrude says, sharing my challenges with my uplines. Yes, I like what you added there with my uplines, not downlines. So we share challenges up, not down. Okay, much better that way so that you don't demoralize your team. Really, that's what it is about. Okay. Dr. Cesar says, definitely motivated by success. Yes, when people step up and are recognized, fuels my motivation to share new life to more people. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Dr. Cesar, for sharing that. I think one of the greatest motivators is our own success. And I can attest to that I came for training for all those months, but let me tell you, the day I stepped up, manager, that step has never, the motivation I felt that time was, wow, if I can do this, I can do anything. And that's why I think it's important for us, even as we work with people, we need to pay attention and help them to win something. When the month, as we go through the month, set a goal and say, you know what, I want to help my people to win something. Let people win something. It could be a 3 in 30. It could be taking the step. Taking the step is really big. Earning the check, receiving that commission. Help people, because nothing motivates like success. Nothing motivates like your own. Like your own success. Brown said, yeah, I see you're blowing all these horns, but now you need to start blowing this horn for yourself. That's very true. We need to achieve our own success because nothing motivates like success. help your people to take those steps, because that is the greatest motivation you can give them. The greatest motivation is to help someone to take that step. You just have no idea how it makes them feel. As we do everything, is success. Both other people's success, but also your own. I lead by example by encouraging my team to attend training. I lead by example, encourage my team to attend training. So also encourage your team to attend training. Right. A meme says my greatest hobby is meeting new people. Making friends is my greatest joy. It keeps me motivated. Yes. Teo says listening to testimonies, attending events and trainings. Yes. Listening to testimonies. Other people who are just like you. If they can do it, I can also do it. That's how we keep ourselves and also our teams motivated. Attending training is one of the best motivators. When you interact with like-minded people, you are full of energy and ready for the business. And it says, wow, comments keep coming. By attending trainings, enjoying new life products, increasing my believability. Taking a step forward one day at a time. Yes, very important comment there. Taking a step one day at a time. Doing something every day. You remember in the previous session, we talked about the daily 5 concept, where we say every day have a set of 5 things that you can do and help you to move forward. So each every single day, focusing on those 5 things, focusing on the little wins of every day can also stimulate your motivation. Pick up motivation from those who are succeeding in the business. If they can do it, I can do it as well. Willie says, I get motivated whenever I teach others. Theo says, I step with my team and receive incentives. Thank you. And David again says, when I help my distributor make profits and sponsor somebody. Wow. We have a long list of things that people are doing. Please, let us do everything possible. Keep our teams motivated. We still have some questions to go, but our time is fast spent. No problem. We shall pick it up from here. Let me just do a brief recap, and then we conclude our time. So today we have talked about the fact that we need to think about where your business is going to be next 5 years. Very important thing for us to think about. Where will your business be in the next 5 years? Then we have also talked about the fact that what is your biggest challenge? How are you overcoming? Whatever challenge it is, don't build a monument. You just keep talking about it. You know what my challenge is, and you tell everyone, okay, that challenge, in that challenge lies a great opportunity if you can overcome. Find a way to overcome your challenge. The greatest testimonies are the testimonies where someone had a big challenge and someone overcame their challenge. Hence the success they have. Number 3, we have said, how do you keep your team motivated? What are some of the things you can do? And then number 4, which we dwelt on more, is how do you keep yourself motivated? You've had different people and how they keep themselves motivated. I want to believe that that has given you an insight on how you personally can keep yourself motivated. Thank you so much. I will stop here for now. And thank you so much for being part of this. I look forward to continuing this.